Hey everyone, welcome back to Love and Golf, a podcast about our romantic, passionate, and sometimes twisted love affair with the game and the valuable lessons it's given us and what we give back to it. All right, guys, you've been listening for a little bit now, and I've had a lot of good friends on, whether it be uh, professional golfers, amateur golfers, business owners of golf, or owners of business golf companies, whatever. My next guest is a friend I met recently, just in the trials and tribulations of starting a business, a fellow entrepreneur. This next guest, Ryan Rottman, is a business owner, actor, film and television, and even owns a production company. So you're probably asking yourself, like, well, why is he on Love and Golf? Well,
Yeah.
like many of us, we all started golf, and that path has taken us on a twisty, windy journey, and it's built relationships, it's built our ethos, our values, our morals. But more or less, what it does is it creates this magic in our lives that we don't foresee. It kind of opens up these doors to adventures we never thought possible. Ryan's latest business, OSDB, is one of those stories. So rather than me tell it, I want to dive into Ryan's story, have him on, and kind of just shoot the shit and share the story from the horse's mouth. So Ryan, welcome to the show, Love and Golf.
Michael, thank you for having me, buddy. Loving the show.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. It's it honestly started as a passion project because, like, being an entrepreneur, it's these lonely nights of working until 1 a.m. and you're pulling your hair out, you wake up, you're like, why am I doing this? You kind of need that creative outlet. So honestly, Love and Golf has been that creative outlet for me to meet some other people in the space, tell their stories, because I'm telling you, man, we've talked offline about Molly, and you've been so generous to help out and lend some of your time and feedback. So you get it, bro. You get it firsthand. But no, this is
Absolutely.
not mine.
I
This is
love it.
not
I
this is
love
not
it.
my episode. you you have to be
No, I love
sick
it.
to love it, though. You have to be sick. We're both sick then.
We're sick. I don't know if I can
So
curse
tell
on
me,
this when I
bro.
say we're sick fucks.
You can. I've said, I think I've cursed more than I think a lot of the people on here. So I welcome
Good,
you to
good
curse
to
with
know.
me to help balance
Okay.
it out the scale.
Yeah, because I
Um,
got a mouth like a sailor.
let's kick it off. So you just told me, I didn't know that first of all, you're a stick. You're a 5 handicap, you said?
Yeah, I think I'm like a 5.6 right now. Yeah, but
Okay, so I
it's
didn't know
golf.
that.
Like one day I go out and I shoot 74, 76, and the next day I go out and I shoot 84. So, but again, that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I love it so much. Right? It's like if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah. So what I want to do, bro, if it's cool with you, I want to do something different in this episode. I want to start at the end almost and work backwards. Okay. It's like,
Okay.
like I'm talking to the film star right now, like the movies where they give you the end first and all of a sudden it flashes back
Okay.
to the beginning and you have to live through it. We're going to do that right now.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you've started what I call the IMDB for the sporting world, right? So you have a database. You've built a database for all athletes that shows their current positions or current teams they're with or what they're doing in a professional rank, and then their sponsorship deals, endorsement deals, what they invested in. Like, it's an entire database for athletes, right?
Yeah, essentially it's like a one-stop shop for sports, right? It's everything about the athlete on and off the field or court or whatever it may be. But like you said, like we showcase the charities they're affiliated with, their endorsement deals, business ventures, the contract details, their social handles, all their bios, who their agents, managers, PR teams are. So giving you really a really full picture. Everyone, the more you know about an athlete or team, the bigger fan you become. So that's what we're providing people, and you don't have to go to 6, 7 different sites to figure out this information. You just come to us. And right now we
It's a
have
brilliant idea.
NFL. Thanks, man. We have NFL, NBA, MLS, NHL, and MLB. So we have 5 sports. We're going up to 40. So we'll have pickleball, we'll have cornhole. Um, you name it, we'll have it, which is very
Yeah.
exciting. I'm really excited to dive into those kind of underserved sports.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the visibility, I think what the internet has done just in terms of the inquisitive nature of our brains and being able to provide answers, you're providing so many answers to so many questions for so many people. So I think it's a brilliant concept and idea, and the execution, I'm honestly, as an entrepreneur, really impressed by what you've been doing and what you've been building. Now, this is where we're going to flash back quickly. None of this would have been
Okay.
possible. None of this even would have happened if it wasn't for golf. True or false?
True. Very true.
So that's why I want you on right now. That's why we're going to do this. Okay, great. Go.
and we'll get into that, but I played golf my whole life, and from being on different TV shows and stuff, you get invited to play in, charitable golf tournaments, or, some, like, celebrity, you play with a pro kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I got invited to go play in a tournament. I don't know, it was like 11 years ago now, in Newport. I think it was Pelican Hill, and
Hmm.
I got paired up with Aaron Rodgers. So it was like a little kid in a candy store. It was fantastic. I'm a big, huge sports nut, and ended up playing with him. And he's a stick, right? So we were
Yeah.
battling it out. Um, I think I won the front nine, he won the back nine, but we ended up, bonding over golf. We ended up bonding over the Big Lebowski, and created a friendship that, I'm very lucky to call him one of my closest friends to this day, and business partner in, a couple different aspects in different companies. But yeah, so because of that, we ended up, like I said, becoming friends. And years later, him and I were at dinner one night, just two of us, and I had this idea for forever, and I kind of just looked at him and said, if as an athlete, is this something you would utilize or use? And he said, "Who have you told?" And I said, "A couple of buddies." He's like, "Tell no one else. Like, let's do this. Like, sports needs this." He keeps sounding me. We're about to add golf, which I'm really excited about. We'll be adding PGA and Live. He keeps sounding me for that one, and golf has kept us close to the years. I went down to the Pebble Beach and followed him there when he won this last couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a lot of my friends to this day, we've either had some sort of friendship, but golf has definitely brought us closer. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's because of golf. I'm lucky to have a friendship with him, and a fantastic guy. But also, have this business, which then transitioned into the production company together too, called Awkward Handshake, just because it never works out. Um, Handshakes don't. Um,
That's great.
and yeah, so we get to do a lot of stuff together, and it's all stems right back to golf.
So then thank you for sharing that. Then let's go. I'm going to go even further back than that now, and then we're going to put all these pieces together. If you've been listening to Love and Golf long enough now, I think this is episode 21. I'm Ryan. I'm the tangent king. It's a problem. I mean, what idiot should host a podcast that goes on tangents all the time? I mean, maybe it makes for entertainment listening, or maybe you're just bored and pissed off. But hey,
I
dude.
mean, listen,
So
that's
I
kind of what it
think
is.
that.
What sports is, right? Like, listen to Stephen A. Smith. He goes on tangents all day long.
Oh my god. So maybe
It's great.
ESPN's my next stop if Molly doesn't work.
Yeah,
Um, so you, like a lot
we're
of
not putting that
us,
in the universe.
no, 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 we're not, because I'm telling you, you've seen Molly and what's been doing. I mean, that, knock on wood, we keep going.
Yeah.
Um, you started golfing because, like a lot of us, like myself included, it was a sport that I could get closer to my father. I mean, it was, for me, it holds a very special place in my heart. My dad and I are actually going to the Masters next week. It's the first time he's going, so we get to share that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it. But tell us, like, so love and golf. I try and have that like common thread between my guests here, and it's that there's an infection point. There's a point where maybe you picked up a club and it didn't happen quite yet, or maybe it happened immediately, but there was a point in time when golf just kind of like made its way into you and like a poison and just took over, and then it just becomes a part of you, whether you know it or not. So if you could take us to that story of why you first started playing with your dad, and like when did it first bite you? Because I know you told me you were even entertaining the thought of playing college golf after high school golf. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I got to grow up living next to a golf course, and actually learned how to drive from driving a golf cart. But my dad used to take me over and was like, "Son, listen, this golf game you're gonna thank me when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s." Um, and he was right. But like, he took me over to the driving range, put a couple clubs in my hand, and started swinging. I was playing a lot of baseball at that time, so I don't know, I was probably 11 when I started. Um, so baseball took up a lot of my time, but the more I played golf, the more I realized I was actually good at it.
mhm.
Maybe from swinging a bat so much and stuff like that, that it kind of helped with the swing. Because when a lot of people start, they can have those like really wonky swings.
Yeah,
I had a pretty
over the
fluid
top.
swing, and I started getting pretty good at it. And because we were across the street, like, it's something I could just go do after school. It was something I could go do on the weekends with my dad. He was a pretty good player, so he would teach me and put me in lessons all the time. And actually, this is my junior club championship trophy from Crown
Oh,
Colony
really?
in Texas. Yeah, I think I shot 72, 74, 72, I think. Um,
Wow.
and it was fun. It was like, my growing up playing so much, getting, it's like golf. Every time you get that great shot, it's what keeps bringing you back. You can have 10 horrible shots, real shitty shots, and then you come back and you have that one you just stick next to the pin, and you're like, this is why I do it. And that's when I started having those moments that kind of started outshining baseball. Um,
Hmm.
Continued to play baseball, but my real love and passion was for golf, and just, I have that mentality of like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it. Um, and I do that for most sports. I started bowling a little bit. I went and bought a bowling ball, and I did it every day. I got ping pong, I got a paddle, and started doing it every day. Pickleball, I got 4 paddles in my car. Like, if I do it, I'm going to be the best at it. And that's how my mentality was with golf. And I just put the time and work
Hmm.
into it. And it something for me that it really did was it helped with so many aspects of my life and helped mold me to kind of, I would say, the person I am today. And that being that
Yeah.
when I was playing, man, I was out there and I had anger issue. I had anger problems, right? Like, I was in
A lot
Texas,
of
so
us.
like I would throw, I'd break my clubs, I would throw them. I remember, from Texas, I would throw a club in a tree. The next day we went and took a shotgun and shot it out. Like, that was my mentality. And my dad would follow me during tournaments and, try and keep my cool. But it was hard for me to have a bad hole, right? You're playing good, hit a double or a triple, and then let go of it, right? And it kind of that anger would just follow me the rest of the round. But as it started progressing through high school, um, I started really mentally working on the game and figuring out why that was happening and how to let that go and let the shots go. Um, and it made me a better golfer. And as I've gotten older, it's even continued on now where, I played golf for so long, and, I don't like going to the driving range anymore because I spent almost, half my life on it. So I usually just get to the first tee and
Sure.
rip it.
Yeah.
And I'm fine not keeping score unless we're, betting with the guys or something. Just go out and, I played Sherwood the other day, and we were semi keeping score and just enjoying the day and look at the, you know, um, the deer and waterfalls and stuff like that. But it's really built me into the person I am today to be, uh, let those angers go. And because I was able to let that shot go from the previous hole or that score,
Hmm. Yeah.
it allowed me to do that in life too. Something, like
Yeah.
you're saying, entrepreneur, right? We go out raising capital, or you go out and try and do whatever. And same as acting, like you get told no so many times that for every, like, let's say, you're going to get a yes in 60 asks. Every time you get a no, you get excited because you're one more closer to that 60th. So you have to take that mentality of like, yeah, it's a no, but that's great because it's not this one, it's the next one, or it's 5 from now. And it's the same with auditioning for acting, right? Like, you just get told no, 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 and that helps build a, thick
It's
skin.
it's yeah, it's hard, and I'm going to interrupt you for a sec because I think you brought up a really good point there that not many people can maybe identify with raising capital for a venture or maybe even auditioning for a role, but people can identify, Ryan, with getting told no in any capacity. God knows I've heard the word no more than I've ever heard the word yes, and it's challenging. And I want to get your thoughts on how do you how do you not internalize the no and build up that thick skin and know that the no has nothing to do with you as much as it has to do with them and maybe what they're looking for in a different capacity. Because a lot of us take no's so personally that then we change our DNA, we change the makeup of our mind and our chemistry when we just got to stick. Because it's when you do that, brother. Like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but like when you start to change the chemistry of what who you are, you're almost resetting the count, like the counter that you're talking about, right? Once you get no once, great. I only have 59 left to go. But once you change the chemistry, you're actually starting back at zero. So there's a part of that
Right.
persistence where you got to remain true to what you're doing and who you are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's let's use acting for example, right? Like, they go in the audition room, and you get told no, 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 and it's so easy to take it personally. It's like, am I a bad actor, or did I do something wrong? Was I should have worked harder in the scene. And like 90% of the time, it's like, no, I had dark hair. They wanted blonde. Or, the girl they cast is 5'2" and I'm 6'2". So the height difference is off. It's everything is minuscule as that. And even with raising capital, it's, this is more tech and we're more consumer good focused, or, we already have something in our portfolio that's in sports. There's so many things. It's not you. Right. And,
Yeah.
unless you're just doing something, half-assed, or, not going in prepared or drunk, then maybe it's probably on you. But if you go in, and you're prepared and you do all that kind of stuff, like, it's like golf. You put the time and work into it, you're going to, maybe you don't make this cut or that cut, but you keep trying at
I
it,
was
you
just going to
will.
say that. Yeah, I was just going
Yeah.
to say
And
that. It's like golf. People don't go. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, you put in what you get out of it, what you put in. But it's once you realize it's not you, right? And it's either the people that are, you're playing against, or the people you're asking money from, or the people doing the audition, like, they'll have shitty days too. And, sometimes it's just not the right mix. And honestly, like, there's been roles I was so pissed I didn't get, that looking back on them, I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't get that, because it would have changed the trajectory of my life. And
Yeah.
I love where I'm at.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions for you. One being,
Shoot.
was when you were playing golf, was there always acting, theater? I know I read somewhere you did theater in high school, or was it college? I forget.
College.
Was it always so? Were you always golfing while having an interest in acting, or like was that like a later thing? Did someone say, where did that come into your life?
Well, like, high school golf was, my life. I was on the golf team. We playing every day. On the weekends, I was playing. Um,
That
and
one
when I went to
o'clock p.m.
Texas,
leaving school was great when everyone looks at you like, what are you doing? I'm going to a
you're
golf
doing, yeah,
tournament.
yep, yep. It was so great. And in the camaraderie, you have all the guys, and you had to travel together, and the competition we had with each other. Um, and then looking to college, it sounds funny, but I wanted to drink beer and meet women, right? Because the golf team I went and visited, like, it's 5, 6 a.m. before you play, before you practice, before your first class, and then after, you just don't have any time. And that's, kind of one of the things that Aaron even talks about playing football, is he just didn't have time to actually live that college life that most of us get to experience, because he was so dedicated to
Yeah.
football. And that's just something that I wanted to have some me time first, and then maybe get back into it. But at that time too, I was really burned out, because I was playing like every single day. And I'd always kind of wanted to be an actor. And I also knew that I was good at golf, but I wasn't great. I like,
Yeah.
you have to be that freakishly good to be a contender, but the time it takes, the travel, getting yourself there, trying to get on get that card, it takes a special kind of person. And I just didn't know if that's what I wanted to do with my life. And so, should I put the time and effort into it doing that, or should I try and pursue something that I really wanted to do, that I thought me putting the time in was more worth the squeeze. Uh,
Yeah.
but I
It,
didn't. My high school didn't have a drama class, so I didn't know if that's what I wanted to do. So when I was in college, I was like, I minored in theater and took a few theater classes, uh, and really got the love for it. But theater and TV and film acting are two different entities altogether, right? Like, totally
very.
different
Yeah.
acting.
I know nothing about this
Uh,
world, but I know enough to know that.
yeah, like, I mean, I came out. I think it was my sophomore year in college. I came out to LA and didn't know anyone, and went to which is oddly enough the New York Film Academy, which is in LA. I remember going back to school and like telling all the guys and girls in theater, and they're like, "Oh, it's not real acting. Like, theater's real acting." And I was like, "Yeah, but theater doesn't pay the bills, so this is what I'm gonna
Right.
do."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was kind of my love for that. But even being out here, like, golf, I've made so many friends through golf out here. You get to play in so many tournaments, and
Mhm.
when you are good, everyone wants you on their team. when they're playing the tournaments. And I've like business wise, it's been one of the greatest things for me. You and I had a conversation. I mean, it's a little off topic, but one thing I love about golf is you really get to see the person you're playing with, right? First off, let's say it's for business or just making friendships. Where else do you get to spend 4 hours with someone uninterrupted and hang out and see who they are as a person and get to really mesh? And then on top of that, if you're even doing business or creating friendships, like you get to see how they handle adversity, right? Like how do they
Yeah.
handle hitting a ball out of bounds, right? Do they slam their
Yeah.
club? Do they do what I did when I was 14 and throw their club? Do they cheat? Are they dropping balls in their pants, down and, saying they found it? Um, how do they work in groups? How are they on, if they're on a team, how do they play? Are they the guy that's saying, like, you only bought 3 mulligans, but, let's take five. So you just get to learn a lot about people and their characters and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And that's one of the things I really love about golf is it brings that out in people, and it's hard to hide it. And yeah, like a lot of people I play with, you get to see that I'm like they're a good person and they can handle anger and they can handle fuck ups.
It's funny, dude. One of the first episodes I ever did was with my business partner Steve to kick off Love and Golf, and he said the almost same exact thing. He was like, "What you get to see how someone plays golf is how they play their life. So if they're cheating in golf, they're cheating in their life. If they're taking shortcuts in golf, they're taking shortcuts in life. If they are literally calm, patient, and have integrity in the golf course, they have that in life. So I completely agree with everything you're saying, and it's a great what's the word? It's a great just sandbox, I guess, to meet someone and suss them out, vet them to see, hey, do you want to get in business with them? Like you and Aaron, right? You got 4 hours to build chemistry, camaraderie, see the person, see his personality, and vice versa, to go to know, hey, we might get in business together and become lifelong friends. So I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's have a few drinks with the boys on or the women on the course, and everyone opens up, and you get to tell jokes, and you have same humor, and like Aaron and I bonded over the Big Lebowski too. Like you just get to talk about it. Certain, if you went to lunch or dinner, maybe you're talking for an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah,
With interruptions and stuff. So yeah, I love golf for that reason. Of like going into it. I played with a buddy the other day that I'd known for a long time, but we never really like were that close. And we played. And now we're like we're chatting every day and trying to get on the course again soon and stuff like that. So that's one of my favorite things about golf for sure.
yeah. So when you fast forward, you had an amazing career that's provided a life for you and a network for you that is extremely valuable through acting and through film and TV, and now even on your production company side. Like, did you you're almost combining a lot of worlds right now, the way I look at it, right? OSDB, it takes your world of like IMDB, like OSDB is like the sport version of IMDB, right? So you're taking a lot of that information that you've had in that world of your in a part of your brain, and then you're taking golf and the relationship with Aaron, and golfers will be a part of OSDB. So it's like, did you ever foresee this happening? Like, where did the idea first come from? OSDB, take us through that evolution.
No, I definitely didn't see it happening. You know, Being an actor for forever, and you know, IMDb was my business card, right? Every time I went in an audition, my IMDb was pulled up on their computer, right? And they're reading and asking me about the shows. When they're deciding who they want to go with, or even how to get a hold of me. If the producers are like, "Oh, we saw a guy in 90210, like we want to try and get him. We think we'd be great for this." They go to IMDb, they see who my agent manager is, they contact them. So it was my business card, and then the producing side, um, it's a great way to do the same thing, which is you know reach out to cinematographers, reach out to grips, reach out to anyone that's in the entertainment industry and figure out how to get a hold of them, right? And I'm a fucking sports nut, right? I love it. And I was just so curious of being in that world for so long and starting to become really good friends with a bunch of athletes, why that didn't exist for them, right? Because you
Mhm.
can find anything you want. Like Aaron always says, well, we build OSDB for the 99% of athletes, not the top one, because they're not accessible, but you can figure out who Aaron's agent is if you wanted to, if you search hard enough. But the other 99% guys on his O line, like up and coming golfers, like they have a story, right? They have the ability to get brand deals, but no one knows how to get a hold of them.
Right.
Um, so I was just so curious, like why that didn't exist. and these guys, my friends, were missing out on big brand deals. And also, you go to ESPN, it tells you nothing about who they are, right? And a lot of these guys play football and they wear helmets all the time, so they don't get recognized. But when you go out and like an MLB guy, they get recognized because you see their face all the time. So had the idea for shit like probably 8 years, and
Wow.
had in the back of my head of just like, I think this would be cool, and like I talked to a few people about it, but I didn't have the capital, and I didn't know how to build a website, and I didn't have a co-founder like Aaron. So I
Yeah.
pretty much sat on it for all those years, and then Aaron and I were friends for many, many, many years, until and just that fateful dinner, which, everything happens for a reason. Other buddy Paul was supposed to go with us and ended up having to cancel last minute, and Aaron came and picked me up and we went anyways. And if he'd have gone to that dinner, we might not have had the conversation about OSDB. So, very fortuitous. And, and then like, again, he, put a lot of our, initial capital in. He helped design the website, and he's done a lot, but he also has that athlete,
Yeah.
thought that how when I'm an athlete and I'm trying to reach out to, what do I want to put forward to fans, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it happening. It was just the way that golf brought him and I together, and that friendship, and the kind of person he is, that made me feel comfortable enough to even ask if this was something. And I wasn't pitching him. I just honestly like, hey, is this a good idea? And
I
and
find
he
like
loved
that's
it.
the
So,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I feel like that's just how I think really solid business gets done when there's not like a pitch like that. I think it's when it's just like the authentic communication, because someone can see your passion when you're just speaking about it. People have said that to me about Mully all the time. Like I actually hate pitching Mully, to be honest with you. There just seems something so forced about it. Like what I'm building is it's just I'd rather just share. And if you, I call it enrolling. I want to enroll you in my why and what I'm doing. And if that's not enough, and you can't see it and download, then you shouldn't be a part of this journey, anyways. So I totally just felt what you said. Like I could just imagine you and Aaron playing golf or going out and like you just, because I've talked about OSDB, like you could tell it's something that you're extremely passionate about and you believe in it. So that's
Yep.
anyone out there listening. If you have an idea like that, like I almost challenge you, don't pitch for the first few months. Just try it on, wear it, and be a part of it, and talk. See how you talk about it.
Yeah, and live it. It's so funny because I think being an actor, and the connotation of it, and I built this up where I hate talking about it. Like for some reason, if someone was talking about how much they love being a dentist, like, cool. But you're like, oh, I just love being an actor. I've done this and this and this. It sounds like you're bragging. And so I've gotten to the state where I just don't ever talk about it. And if someone's like, oh, like, what have you been in? I'm like, I just, IMDB. You can see it there. I'm going to go for my resume. And,
Oh.
and so because of that, it became very difficult for me to, like you said, to pitch, right? Because I'm used to not
Mhm.
talking about stuff, even though I was super passionate about it. And then I got over it. And you just had to get to a point where like, I'm living this, right? Like I wear an OSDB shirt every day. Like, I live it and I'm proud to talk about it. And in the investing world is like, I don't want to like push them. And I'm like, oh, wait, if you don't, they're missing out on your opportunity. And if
Mhm.
they are able to say no, and there's no bad feelings or blood. But then, because it does well, they'll be like, why didn't you ask me to invest?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
know.
it's always
I
when it
feel you.
does well. So I had to get over
Yeah.
that stage, and the same, goes back
Yeah.
to golf too.
So you mentioned to me earlier that you're going to have PGA Tour players and live players in OSTV. Rightfully so, I believe in that. And I've always been a fan of. Everyone asks me all the time, like, "Are you Team PGA or Team Live?" I said, "I'm on Team Golf, guys." Like I don't
Yeah.
think there has to be such a divide. Like there's such a divide in golf. When like, aren't we trying to make golf more like universal and welcoming, not divisive? So I'm happy to hear that. And happy. I want to hear. Have you been to a live event yet? Because I was at my first one a couple
I
weeks
have
ago.
not.
But have you been a part?
I have
You've
not.
not.
I have not.
Oh
You
man,
know,
we could save that for another time.
was it awesome?
Oh, uh, different. I got to say different. And I actually applaud Liv because They're not trying to be the PGA Tour, and I still don't think the PGA Tour is trying to be live. I really do think that there's such a clear vision on what they're both going to be. I'm like, guys, like let's get the animosity out of the way and let's just live harmoniously, because all the live guys want are world ranking points to go play in the majors. Like they don't want to live in your
Yeah.
world and you don't want to live in their world. So I don't see why they can't coexist, but I also see why, like, if you are, I mean, it's kind of like if you're an actor, right? You don't want to be going back and forth between shows. Like if you're an actor, if you're playing a role in someone's TV show, you want to kind of own that character. You don't want them to go to another show and like, you know what I mean? So I think that's why the PGA Tour is a little bit upset.
I think the whole beef is outrageous. I mean, they've lost some of their top guys. I get it; they're going to be upset. Coke needed Pepsi. Pepsi needed Coke, right? Like all it does is help. PGA's in the news more than it ever has been because of Live, because of this beef, right? It's like when Jake Paul fights, right? Like they create such a beef prior to the fight. Like I'll watch. I don't care who wins, but they got the beef, right? And now they're in the news. And the fighter, Tommy Fury is bigger than he's ever been because he fought Jake Paul and there's a beef. So they need each other. And, it's it goes back to acting too, where people are like, I'm a thespian. Like I would never do a big budget film or, I'm just doing the stuff that means something. I'm like, people forget this is a job, right? Like you go do a big budget movie, 20 million, very few people make that, but then you can go do your passion project and pay for it if you want. And the guys are like, I don't know if it's Rory or someone was like, if it's the culture of golf for the PGA. I can't believe they're leaving and But like these guys are making hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And they got to feed their family. And it's like if you were offered a promotion at your job for a lot more money, but you had to move, like you're going to take it.
100%. No question.
Right? Like
it's easy.
Yeah, no question. Like,
did you see?
Why would you? Unless you're Tiger Woods, you have more money than God, anyways. And who cares?
That's the 99.999 percentile. So I know what you're saying. Yeah. Did you ever see the Netflix? Did you see Netflix Full Swing?
I saw the first like 4 episodes or something. I saw like Brooks. I saw some of DJ's. I think my favorite one was I can't remember the guy's name right off the top of my head. The guy that's like number 70th and like is happy being 70th.
Oh, Joel Damon and his caddy Gino.
Yeah,
that one.
Yes,
where he had to qualify for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, if I was his caddy, I would be so pissed. This guy like gave up his life to go work for this guy. He's got a family, and the guy's just like they're like, nah, I'm fine.
The bond that they had, and to see the brotherhood that goes on. To your point, man, golf just creates these relationships. And I actually got emotional when he wrote that letter to him. Like, this is my consider this my official application to be Joel Damon's caddy. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, who's cutting onions in here, man? It's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a draft.
But did you see Ian Poulter's episode where Ian Poulter, you may like him or dislike him, but man, is that guy just brutally honest. He's like, hey, look, I'm getting older. I got families. I've got kids. They're in the episodes. I got kids. I'm doing what I got to do to put food on the table, make sure they're fine. So it's like that's again to your point. This is business, guys. Like unless you're Rory, John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, these young guns that are going to have an amazing pedigree and resume in golf that will likely make the Golf Hall of Fame. Unless you're those guys, like, I'm sorry, guys, you're taking the money. You're providing for your family, and that's it. That's the long and the short of it.
Yeah, and again, like everyone's their own person. Like a lot of it doesn't affect them, right? Maybe having those guys leave, they're going to win more tournaments, right?
Right.
So there you go. You have more money in your pocket right there. But just worry about your own game, play it, and go out there and try and win the money because it is a job. But you know what? It's funny. I think I look at Live as in like the 16th hole of Waste Management, right? Like what started that for me was Happy Gilmore. Like Happy Gilmore started that fandom of like, having him tell everyone to cheer and made it fun. And like, the 16th of Waste Management, I don't know if you've been, but it's like one of the funnest things you can possibly do. And I was always like, why isn't golf
3 years off my life
like this? No, seriously. I
But
definitely
you're
miss
right,
the
man.
River
Like
Tour.
being at Live this last week, I was at the Tucson one. Um, And right, like I got to be honest, dude. Like it took my brain because I've been to so many PJ Tour events. I've been to the Masters, not PJ Tour, but then I grew up in LA, with you and was going to Riv, the Genesis. Now I've been going to that since I was 13. Um,
Oh
Going
wow.
to a PGA Tour event, or let's just say a traditional golf event, you're going to be there almost all day. It's quiet, stand bearers, quiet, please. You can't talk really in places. And then fast forward to what I just went to at Live. Not kidding you. There's the first thing I walk into is a concert stage. There's a concert stage with a DJ playing. You had to walk down to a shotgun start, so you know that you're only going to be there for about 4 or 5 hours because that's it. It's like, but it's like any other sporting venue, right? Like you go to a basketball game, go to a football game. There's maybe a tailgate, then there's the game, and then you go home.
Yep.
Right? Golf's
Yep.
golf's the only thing that's like all day. But anyway, going back, and then there's music playing, bro. There's music playing, and I'm like, wait, I can talk right now. There's music playing behind me. It's like Kygo, and you almost see. I think I saw like Matt Wolf kind of like vibing in the tee box. I'm like, what is happening right now? It's just like it's a different world where I think Live will almost be like if you're going to a bachelor party or a bachelorette party, you're going to plan maybe one of the days to go to 4 hours, 5 hours of a Live event, and that's just
Yeah.
kind of what they want.
I mean, listen,
So
you're not wrong. Like it's almost look at the times. Look at COVID, right? You have Bad Birdie. You have all these different brands coming out that are uh, not your traditional just black Nike, polo, and that demographic doesn't want to go stand at a PGA tournament. It's a
right,
lot of walking. It's a lot of being quiet. It's I kind of quit going. Like, they're just not fun for me anymore. But like going to Live, if I could go for 4 hours and get it done with, and have a great time, and vibe a little bit, like I'm totally there. It's
yep,
like I thankfully with the sports business and stuff, I get to go to a lot of games, a lot of different leagues. MLS, like LAFC knows how to play a game. Like it's
yeah.
you're on your feet the whole time. It's fantastic. Like you go to football games, they're always fun. They have stuff for you to do. It's not your whole day. Basketball, and then there's golf, and it's just like, man, you got to get there really early to see if you want. Uh, it's super, it's nice you're on the course and stuff, but you know, people's attention spans are getting less, and half the people are out there, in their 50s, 60s that are out
Yep.
there following, wearing their golf shoes to the course to walk. Um, and so
I
and
saw
so
a guy
like
with his
live
full
is
bag set up. That's all out of the bag. I'm not kidding. Like a
oh
full
it's
bag set up. Like I'm like, what do you like with the rangefinders in hand? I'm like, I'm
doing
sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah,
what are you
yeah,
doing?
sorry. Yeah,
Uh, uh, but like live has kind of changed that for everyone, right? Where they're making it fun.
right,
And again, like
right.
you said earlier, they can both live. They can both live on their own entity. If you don't like that, don't go to live. And if you get, for me, I'm like kind of tired of going to PGA tournaments. Like I'll go to check out live.
Yep. Should there be a live PGA Ryder Cup like showdown? The athletes
Yeah, for sure,
sponsored by
for sure,
OSDB and
absolutely.
Mully. We're gonna be-
Yeah, exactly. I think we can make it happen.
Oh
We can make it
gosh,
happen.
God, that'd be my dream. We do have to find a way to work together in some capacity, even if it's just like a jersey swap. Like give me, I want an OSDB shirt. I'll give you a Mully shirt. We'll do like the things that athletes do at the end. We'll do
We'll
that.
sign it on the back. Yeah, yeah. Take a photo.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna frame it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All
And
right,
at the
so
golf
let's
course.
yeah, dude, we got to do that. We got to do that because I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll see how your
I got to admit,
anger is. If you cheat.
yeah, yeah. I got to see that 5 index, bro. Like I got to see how you compress a golf ball. That's how I really judge someone, how they compress a ball.
Well, I've like I'm seeing a chiropractor right now, but I've got like
Here are
tendonitis,
the
almost like
excuses.
a
Already excuses, bro. We didn't even get on
no,
the
but
golf course yet.
hold on,
We got an
hold on, let me
excuse.
get there. It's like my rotator cuff, right? But I've been playing through it, and it's really made me slow my swing down, and I'm driving the ball probably 20 yards further.
Yeah, speed. People think that ball speed is directly equivalent to club head speed. It is if you can hit the golf ball in the middle of the club head every single time. But if I'd rather hit the
Exactly.
golf ball in the middle of the club head because that's really where the ball speed comes from. But yes, I completely agree with that statement.
Being slow, your margin of error really reduces.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say meticulous. I don't. I would bet your golf swing's still not slow. It's probably just more concise.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
For
Um,
me, it feels extremely slow.
yeah, I'm sure. What was your swing speed before? Do you have any idea?
No, I just got one of the little full swing things. I'm about to take it out.
Nice.
They told me
Yeah.
they fit me for Cobras, and they told me, and I can't remember what it was, but it was fast.
Well, you got fit for
So I have
Cobras.
super.
I was just
I
my next
Yeah,
question for you was what's in the bag, dude. It's like we got to know what's in the bag.
yeah. I luckily I did a show, and I got to play with Cobras on the show, and so like every year they bring me out and fit me for a new set. So thank you, Cobra. I love y'all. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's made a tremendous difference, right? Of having the angle of the clubs, like putting super stiff shafts in my drivers. Um, it's been it's been fantastic, and every year I get a new one. They've done something crazy, and I get more distance and better accuracy.
So what do you do with the old clubs, Ryan?
My buddy Paul Corey usually
Oh,
gets the
damn.
hand
See,
me
I
downs.
thought I thought we were gonna get a shameless plug there for Mully, guys. We're gonna try again. It's okay. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get him to
But
list some stuff
I
eventually.
will actually. He's got my last two, so I'll put these on Molly.
There we
So
go.
I'm going in a couple weeks.
Right on. So I want to bring us full circle here because we're coming up on it, and I want to make bro. First of all, I appreciate you sharing your story and everything going on with OSDB and Aaron bringing him in, via golf and how that's meant golf. What has golf meant to you in your life? But from you, man, like if you had to take a look back, like that reverse, that rear view mirror shot where you look at where you are now, all the success you've had and everything going on in your life and the network. What does golf mean to you right now? Like if you had to describe it, like if you had, I don't know, you don't have a son, but if you had a son, right? If you had to say son, like what your dad did to you, cause he was
Yep.
right. He said, Ryan, when you're in your 30s and 40s, 50s, you're going to, and so what does that mean to him? What would you tell your son?
Man, it's a great question. I mean, I let what my dad said live on, right? Go out, he always said it's going to pay big dividends. That was his thing. And it did. So I tell him, it's going to pay big dividends in the future. But also like it helps build character, like get out there, to build character. And when I think of golf, I just think of happiness, right? Like whether I play good or bad, in 2 weeks, I'm not going to remember what I shot, right? But I'll remember the time that I had out there with whoever I played with. And I played in rain the other day, and it was a little miserable, but some funny shit happened while we were playing, and like I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna remember what I scored today, but I'm gonna remember that this just happened, right? I'm gonna remember the waterfalls, remember the deer running across the fairway, um, and it's memory making and pure happiness when you're out there.
I love that, dude. And then I asked this question to all my guests, and I can't wait to hear yours because you were a high school golfer. But like, do you remember that first golf club that you had that was either a hand me down or you got as like a gift or maybe you purchased it yourself? What was that first golf club that meant so much to you?
By Scotty Cameron.
Which one? Got to give some
Oh
details.
shit! I still
Oil
have it.
can, Trillium. What you still have it?
Yeah, it's in my where is it? It's in one of my bags. Um, I don't remember which one it is. Yeah. Oh, I think it's a Newport.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's a
it's either
Newport.
got to have been the stainless steel, the
It was stainless. It
I
was
mean,
stainless steel, I
I
think.
had the oil can one. We had to put like, do you remember? You had to put like there it came with like a chamois. You had to put the chamois in the head cover and just the whole
Yep.
thing. I did
Yep.
that. Um, and then last question I have for you that I'm sure you've
Oh,
never
and
gotten
and one.
before.
So it was my Scotty Cameron that was memorable. And then when I was in high school, I'd been always wanted to. We lived in Texas by a lake, and I'd always wanted a boat. And my dad was always kind of like, nah, nah. And I was right on the precipice of being really good, and I was working really hard. My dad was like, if you shoot in the 70s 3 times in a row, we'll get a boat. And so I went out and worked my ass off. And within 2 weeks, I shot 73 times in a row, and he got me a boat.
That's
No, not me a
amazing.
boat,
Oh
got the
my
family a
gosh.
boat.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
was
That's
like that other
amazing.
memory of just like, another way that golf and they brought joy to my life.
Yeah. Well, I got to thank you, and this is the last question. I promise to let you go, and I want to thank you again for your time, bro. I want to thank you for offering some support for me and Mully, for being on the show, for being a sounding board, being a friend, sharing your story. None of this would be possible without certain few people in your life, or some special people in your life. So, Ryan Rottman, please, man, take the mic, and thank the people that have helped you get here, to help you, become the man you are, the professional you are, and just been that stand for you.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. I love talking golf all the time. Thanks for being a friend, and congrats on Molly.
Thank you.
I'd say, I'm very thankful. Obviously, my mother and father, right? They put the golf club in my hand, helped me be the man I am today, um, and let me follow my dreams always of saying, like, I was like, I think I want to quit my senior year and go to LA and become an actor. They were like, do it. If you don't do it now, you'll always regret it. You can always go back to school. Um, and help me move out. So very appreciative to them. They're my best friends. Aaron, Rodgers and Nate Raby are my partners in OSDB for, being sounding boards and, letting me fulfill my dream of starting a business and, bringing what I've had in my mind for, 15 years to fruition. And, my girlfriend, Sean, who's, pushes me to limits, like, good limits of saying, like, get up and do this, you got today.
Yeah.
It's always making me strive to be better. And then all my friends, right? Like, that's one great thing about our friend group is, we don't have anyone in that friend group that's jealous or doesn't want to see someone succeed. We all push each other. And that's one of the best things. Like, a lot of us text in the morning to say, like, just simple crush today. And that's just how we start the
Yeah.
day out.
Bro, I love that. I call my tribe the people that understand that abundance is
Right.
abundant and that everyone can win. And just because I win or someone else wins doesn't mean the other person can't. So I firmly subscribe to that thought process immensely. So,
And when one of
my
us
friend,
wins, we all
yeah.
win, right?
Oh, I what is it? What is the saying? A rising tide lifts all boats, right? That's
Oh,
just
let's,
how it
yep,
is.
yep.
So, well, dude, I'm excited for your tide, all of our tide to lift because, man, I'm a big fan of what you're doing. I believe in what you're doing, and I want
And
you to
vice
win
versa.
so you can help all of us win too.
Yeah, exactly. Ditto. Don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
us
yeah.
when you get to the top.
Oh man, don't even say that. Oh, and then also, I remember you have a production company, right? What was it called
Yeah.
again? Awkward Handshake.
Awkward handshake.
So I think
Awkward
Awkward
handshake.
Handshake needs to maybe think about like a Happy Gilmore 2, or like some sort of like maybe like where like Happy Gilmore becomes like the Chubbs, and like maybe there's a next protege that comes in, and I'm just saying, man, like there's
It's
got to be
actually
something in the works there.
it's funny you say that because we're actually Aaron and I are meeting with Adam Sandler next month.
Stop it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're obviously not going to be like probably Happy Gilmore 2, but uh, we all have the same sense of humor. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I'm sure we'll play a little basketball.
Well, maybe there's going to be a second version of this episode of this podcast, so we can follow up on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, bud. Well, thank you again for joining. Thank you guys for listening, and Ryan, we'll catch up soon, bud.
Thank you so much for having me, Ben.